This training covers the Electronic Individual Development Plan, eIDP, process, and form completion basics. The eIDP is useful because employees can develop and log leadership competencies, professional skills, and personal goals in one place. Its primary purpose is to help employees reach short and long-term career goals, as well as improve current job performance. An eIDP is not a performance evaluation tool or a one-time activity. It should be looked at as a partnership between the employee and the supervisor. Each employee chooses when and with whom to update their eIDP. In this example, the supervisor helped an employee draft their first eIDP in the first 90 days. The form can be updated independently with a supervisor or with a mentor. Now that you understand what an eIDP process can look like, let's proceed to the form. Here is the eIDP Excel form. In order to fill it out, first you must save it to your hard drive. If we scroll lower on the eIDP Introduction tab, we see instructions on how to complete the eIDP. We also see assessment tools, which can serve as a starting point for completing the form. These tools help the employee identify short and long-term goals. Now we will move on to the Employee Information tab. Here is where the employee's demographic information and goals are entered. All of the fields in the Employee Information section must be completed in order to progress to the other form tabs. Let's focus on an entry that populates the rest of the form, Leadership Responsibility. After the employee's level of leadership responsibility is selected, the corresponding Leadership Development Framework populates to the right and throughout the rest of the form. Let's check out the differences between each level of leadership responsibility on the Leadership Framework tab. Here you can see each level of leadership responsibility. If we scroll down, we see all of the minimum suggested competencies and recommended activities for each level of responsibility. Let's see how these are reflected on the Leadership Competency tab. On this tab, we can reference all of the core qualifications and underlying leadership competencies. Let's focus on a core qualification at the bottom of the page. The fundamental competencies is a good starting point. Let's focus on the first competency, interpersonal skills. If you ever need to reference a definition, you can simply click on the term, or reference the glossary tab at the bottom. If I click on the proficiency level box, and then on the drop-down tab, the employee can select the proficiency level desired for their development. The evaluation factor indicates what type of learning will occur. If I click on the developmental goal box and the drop-down, we see goal options which directly correspond to the employee's level of leadership responsibility. For this example, let's select integrity and scroll to the right. The developmental activity provides options for how the employee will work on the goal. Under target date, a date for completing the activity can be typed in. At any time, the employee can track progress toward their developmental goal. Let's look at the Leadership Development tab. This tracker is where the employee captures all of their leadership development activities. The first line shows how the form looks when one activity is entered. Next, we will move on to the Professional Development tab. The Professional Development Activity Tracker logs all other activities outside the VA's Leadership Development Framework, such as professional skills and personal goals. Let's move on to the last tab, the Glossary of Terms. As the form is completed, any eIDP definition can be referenced here. You now have basic knowledge about the eIDP process and how to complete the form. Thank you for watching a TWD VHA OCC training production.